And we are recording. Rachel, what are we going to talk about today?
Essential Albums, Part 2.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Best Good Friends podcast. My name is Rita Hayworth. Joining me is my partner in crime, Andy Dufresne, and we're here to talk about what makes albums essential. Last week we talked about 2 criteria and picked out a couple of personal picks from our record libraries to basically describe those visually. This week we're getting into the next 2 criteria on our list. I'm going to let my good friend Andy Dufresne take it away with the first of the, or I should say third of the criteria.
Man, if I would have known that, I would have broke out my Shawshank. That is not my essential album.
I knew that you would be shocked because we've been talking about, she's currently reading the, is it 4 Seasons? Is that right? Is that what it's called?
I believe so, with the different short stories.
Yeah, so with Stephen King. I thought I'd throw in the Stephen King
I missed out my
reference.
opportunity here, though. I could have broke out the Shawshank album. Man.
That's okay. We'll get there. Maybe the next time we cover essential album topics, we can.
So I really have had a hard time with defining essential albums, to be honest. So I kind of went into like a necessary but also important category, which can mean a whole bunch of things, honestly. But my first one I went with was Saving Private Ryan by John Williams. I went with this one.
I love that film.
Yes, the cover. This was by La La Land Records, actually, which no longer presses vinyl, and I'm very upset about that. Because I thought they did great. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They had this one. I know they had E.T. They've had a couple. I have E.T. as well. But they just do like such a nice job on their releases. But they no longer press vinyl, and I'm like, ah. So these are like the rare ones. But I picked Saving Private Ryan by John Williams. Like I said, as
classic name.
Yes. I mean, it's just a bunch to read in here. It's awesome. Tom Hanks, obviously. I picked this for my grandfather. My grandfather served in World War II. He was a POW as well. He landed on Omaha Beach, which is a big part. I mean, it's like an hour scene, maybe. Have you seen it lately or no?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it multiple times over.
It has to be a 45-minute hour scene when they land on Omaha Beach. And I just remember my grandfather telling me he got to see this before he passed away, actually, which is really cool. I remember him telling me, though, that he had to actually leave the movie theater during this scene because it was just so realistic to him. Like, everything about that scene was just very powerful and realistic. He said, you know, when they got out of the boats, they had no idea how deep the water was. People were drowning. You know, they had no clue. This is obviously very important to me. My grandfather was awesome. Miss him every day. He's been gone for a while now, but man, such a cool dude. And like I said, he was a POW for I forget how many years, but for a little while. But he's just the nicest man ever. He had never have known that he was a POW. I think there was one story as well when he was a prisoner of war that he was actually offering his food to others, like in the camp.
Wow.
And when he got out, obviously it was a while, you know, after. But you never would have known. It's funny because when I was younger, I remember my grandfather being like, "You want to stick a gum?" I'm like, "You don't want to stick a gum." You know, he'd rip it in half.
Yeah.
And give you like the half because, you know, back then that's like all he had.
Yeah.
But I just think it's so cool that he did that, and I actually still do that today. Just such a powerful album. I picked what song on side D, Hymn to the Fallen, which you hear that at the end of the movie. Just so powerful. There's just no way I could not pick this. I mean,
yeah, Tom Hanks reference, of course, which, you know, Best Good Friends also being reference from Tom Hanks.
It's just such a cool release, though. I mean, if you get a chance to buy this, I highly, highly recommend it. Or even listen to it, stream it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Powerful,
it's interesting to watch the habits that the older generations have versus habits of younger generations and how drastically different they would be. And when you know reasons behind it like that,
he was just
you know,
kind to
whether,
everyone. Yeah,
yeah,
no matter what.
yeah,
He was through hell too. You
mhm,
would never know that.
yeah. Thank
So
goodness he came out of the other
there's some
side
pictures
and
as
was a nicer
well.
man.
I can send to later. Maybe we can put them on. Or I can put them on Instagram. If you follow us on Instagram, I'll post some pictures. I have a whole shoebox of my grandpa's war photos though, and I love them so much. Just to think though, like how this traveled though. You know, like he had this, and he wrote on the back of every photo, Fort Arkansas. I mean,
Very cool.
and they got back.
Yeah,
It's like it's just crazy to
that's
me,
a
but it's
nice
awesome.
piece to have. Yeah,
It's
it's a nice
awesome.
piece to have.
But I highly recommend Saving Private Ryan as a film and as the score to the movie. It's awesome
Well, I would
stuff.
say you probably can't get any more of a personal connection to something than
No,
what you've just described.
this is why this is definitely important to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I think I actually got lucky in purchasing this because it was when it first came out. I believe, and now it's kind of hard to find, kind of like a Friday
yeah,
Night Lights thing, since
yeah.
they no longer press.
Gotcha.
Um,
And that's
yeah,
interesting. I'll investigate that label too because that's a.
I can't
I'm
think of what
curious
else they did.
why they would stop.
I should know this, but I just cannot think of it. But I know E.T. and Saving Private Ryan are two.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Well,
if you
for
have not
my
checked it out, please do.
and the film, I've watched that many times over and
I
it
think I watch it all
never.
the time when it's on TV.
Yeah,
I turn it on.
yeah, yeah. I can't stop watching it. It's just such a very well put together film. So my third criteria was the front to back playthrough. Basically, you start listening, you don't skip any songs, everything from front to back totally keeps your attention. And I kind of cheated a little bit on this just to say that I wanted to go with the entire Iron Maiden collection from 1980 to
Yeah.
1988, which just totally encompasses some of my earlier creative music listening, I should say. Every one of those records, I truly feel like I can press play at the beginning and they play all the way through. But in the effort of not breaking out 8 records and gushing over how much I love
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, I decided to just pick one, which was actually the first cassette. The story behind this album, which is called Power Slave. So I had first watched MTV. They had just released the Seventh Son of the Seventh Son album, which was around 1988. I'm a little kid watching MTV. Headbangers Ball used to come on at midnight, and they played the video for yeah. You're staying up late at
Man,
night trying to turn it up
MTV
loud
though, that was
enough.
the best when
Yeah,
MTV played music videos. That's like all I knew though.
absolutely. Well,
MTV
look at
was
where we're
music
at now.
videos and like Real World for me.
Yep. Well, see, this was long before the Real World, which might have been actually the first reality show. Now that I think about it,
That's
but
a whole other, yeah.
they played music, and since they don't play music now, we have YouTube, which is cool.
It's
I
just
don't know if that
crazy.
transition would have happened had they continued to play music, to be honest. But
Just
who
yeah,
knows?
I
Maybe they
mean
would have. Maybe not.
TRL Live, it was just sweet on MTV
Yeah.
back in the day. Let's be real.
So I'm staying up late. I'm a little kid. I'm watching Headbangers Ball, and all of a sudden this song comes on called "Can I Play with Madness," and it's by Iron Maiden. And my friend Chris and I were watching this, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" So this is Saturday nights, or technically Sunday morning, depending on what you want to say. I guess Sunday
Mm,
a.m.
yeah.
The first trip I get to the music store, I go straight to the Iron Maiden section, and I'm going to buy that tape. But they don't have it. But they did have this whole selection of other Iron Maiden. And so I chose all the artwork. This was the one that I went with, Power Slave. So I still dig that Egyptian artwork,
Hmm.
and the logo Eddie is iconic in the metal community. So I got this cassette, totally fell in love with it, found out that Iron Maiden was one of my new favorite bands. My uncle heard me playing Iron Maiden. He was like, "Hey, I've got an Iron Maiden cassette that you can have. It's in my truck." My family all drive trucks, transfer trucks. So I march my way down to his truck immediately. He's like, "Yeah, just climb up in the cab. It's sitting there." I climb up in the cab, and what is it? It's another copy of Power Slave. And I was like, "All right." He was like, "Yeah, I don't want it, so you can have it." I took it anyway. It's my backup copy. Years later, I drove to Knoxville to the record store, and I seen this one. This gold border is actually kind of unique to this pressing. It says that it is a Virgin Maiden vinyl pressing. I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean in the pressing, but not all of the album covers have that border on them. So, this is it. I'm gushing about it. Years later, I finally get to see Iron Maiden. I feel like a little kid again. You can ask Brandy. We were at the show together. I screamed. I screamed it out to the old man.
A groupie.
If you're a Maiden fan. I said, don't lie, don't say you don't know. No, anyway, wrong album. I'm quoting Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. I shouldn't do that. Anyway, front to back, absolute classic, Iron Maiden Power Slave. If you are a metal fan, you should really dig into this record if you never have. High praise for me. But I chose 2 for every one of these. So my first criteria with the Iron Maiden and the playthrough. Another one that I couldn't resist bringing out was the Erykah Badu Mama's Gun album. I am absolutely in love with this record, and there is no way that I can press play on this and not listen to it in its entirety. It is a little bit of jazz, a little bit of soul, definite hip-hop. Everything that I need in a beautiful record is in this, and her voice is just one of the greatest of the greats. So Erykah Badu, Mama's Gun, I can also gush about this. Also, my first CD that I remember putting in my car and being like, wow, man, this thing sounds good. So, Mama's Gun, I don't remember what year this come out. Maybe I wrote it down. I did not. Anyway, Power Slave, 1984. I believe this was early 2000s, possibly, something like that. Mama's Gun, Erykah Badu. Highly recommended again. And I would put both of those in my essentials category as playthrough from front to back. Don't skip a beat. There's so much good stuff in there. If you've not heard those, play them back to back. That's what I say.
Back to back?
Iron Maiden straight into Erykah Badu. You won't be sorry.
Oh.
Okay, so what do you got next? What's your next criteria?
Oh, what do we have? Well, I guess we're both kind of... I mean, this is my ultimate essential album.
Okay.
Out of any other album I own. Beetlejuice.
Ah, nice.
I picked this for many reasons. Not only the artwork. I mean, I'll show a couple. The artwork.
Cool center label.
The songs that are included on it, the score. It's just an ultimate go-to album. Total essential album. I think I showed you
I love that insert, or the inner art.
The gatefold.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
The caseworker. It's
hard to beat this. I'm so nostalgic for anything that reminds me of Halloween or 31 Nights. What do they do on ABC Family, 31 Nights of Halloween?
I think so, yeah.
You know, when they put out the lineup. Mm-hmm. Just totally... I just love it.
I'm trying to remember the caseworker's name. I'm wanting to say Olgar, but
no,
I can't.
I forget. We discussed it too.
We should have known this.
Obviously, though, Danny Elfman, music by Danny Elfman, which speaks for itself right there. This was a Waxwork release in 2018. I think it's easily one of their top 5 they've ever pressed. It's just the gatefold alone is just awesome. I mean, look at Charman over here.
Yeah. It's so cool. And I think it's neat to how Danny Elfman wound up getting into all of these soundtracks in various different movies, and he does a great job with scores.
No, isn't that interesting, though, the Tim Burton, Danny Elfman tie? I mean, that could be a whole other podcast.
Yeah, for sure. We should definitely just put that on the
Willy
list.
Wonka, obviously.
Yep, very cool.
Well, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, excuse me.
So are there...
Are
there additional songs on that, or is that strictly Danny Elfman's works?
So they have Danny Elfman, but then they have the Harry Belafonte.
Yeah, okay.
How do you say his name?
Yeah, Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte song, the Banana Boat. Yeah,
gotcha.
The Banana Boat song. They have the Jump in Line, Shake, 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 Sonora. Yeah. So no, I mean they have those little tidbits in there too as well. So it has a score and then it has those songs.
Very cool.
But man, I love Beetlejuice.
I love the artwork on that, just all around.
The artwork on that's why this is what is my I mean this is just totally essential to me all around. The artwork, the hype sticker, gatefold, has an inner I mean, you can't beat it.
We should really do an episode somewhere in the
Pressing.
future of specifically just some of our favorite artwork that we have in our
Yes.
libraries. That'd be cool.
Easily could
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
I mean, we could fill up 14 shows of that, I'm sure. Okay.
No.
So,
But
oh,
yes,
sorry, cutting you off.
love this album. Love it. Love it. Love the movie. Love the artwork. Kudos Waxworks,
Such a great film.
which is also this has not been repressed. So
Oh, okay.
I have the
Yeah,
original, the OG, but
yeah.
Waxwork has not repressed it. I don't think
Okay,
so.
yeah, because
Maybe
the
they have,
original just has the movie art or the
but
yeah,
I mean this goes for like 120 easy
yeah.
probably,
Nice. That's cool.
which is insane. But you know
I
how it
would say
works.
if I had to choose between the pressings, I would choose that one over the
This
original. Yeah.
one, the OG, I like. I mean, I like them both a lot. The cover art's pretty sweet on the OG
Mm.
as well.
Well, yeah, that front cover art's cool. The
It
poster.
shows the house and
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
cover art. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
for
mean.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's the same with Edward Scissorhands. You know, the OG compared to the Waxwork. I take the OG on that one. We could do that too. Compare,
I'd love
but
to. Maybe some
you
comparisons,
know,
reissues versus OGs.
that's
Yeah.
another one. Edward Scissorhand. Yeah,
I never got the reissue of that, but I do have the OG, so I know what that one looks like.
it's the cover art's awesome.
Okay, so up next, my fourth and final criteria. I shouldn't say final criteria because there's probably more, but just of the four that we chose for these particular episodes is the spine tingling moment. The album that you're playing and just all of a sudden this wave of euphoria and unexplained something runs through your body, the hairs start to tingle, everything tells you this record is emotionally connecting with you. My first of two picks that I chose for that is Eye of Every Storm by Neurosis, one of my all-time favorite bands. This was released in 2004, and there's some real moments in here that just not only is the music beautiful and the vocals take you a different place, there's something that happens emotionally like a kind of like a lost feeling, and it's uplifting
Hmm.
but kind of sad at the same time, and it's very, very hard to explain, but it hits right here for me, and this is, since it came out, has long been my go-to record for Neurosis, and I love all the discography, but this is a turning of the tide for them. There's something special that happens here, where there's this mellower element coming in, something that just opens them up emotionally to the listener,
Hmm.
and this just
Right.
the way they put together this gatefold is super nice, and I can't speak highly enough about this. Another one that I would recommend if you're into heavier, slower music and you've never heard Eye of Every Storm,
Hmm.
listen to this. Even if you're not into metal, because most people think of metal as this aggressive, fast kind of thing,
That's kind of what I
that
think
is
of. Yeah.
nowhere near what they touch on.
Head
Yeah,
bashing.
they don't touch on that at all. This is more of a emotional cleansing is probably the best way I would say it. Because by the end of this record, I do feel better. It takes me on this roller coaster of emotions, and it just multiple times through this, I will just feel everything, spine tingling, hair on my arms standing up, and everything that I'm talking about in this
Right.
element. I have every storm Neurosis, and not only one of the greatest of bands, one of the greatest of albums. And then I'm closing this one out with another one,
Oh yeah. Right. You did. Overachiever.
but I couldn't just pick one. This is the
I know.
2005 release, the Silver Mount Zion Memorial Orchestra and Tra La La Band. This is called Horses in the Sky, and this record, unlike any other I've ever experienced, can bring me to tears. It literally can, in a way that is so undescribable. The lyric content matters. The way they deliver it, there's a lot of male-female vocals and what they call like a vocal round, like when they do the row, row, row your boat. You ever do that at school?
Hmm.
Somebody else comes in behind you.
Yep.
They have a lot of
Oh yeah.
that goes on in this record. Another thing that emotionally connects me to this record is my good friend Cheryl. We listened to this record so many times at the record store, over and over and over. We just fell in love with this band. We eventually started a band together because of listening to this band. Although,
I like that artwork though.
yes,
I mean,
I know we're going in a different tangent here, but
that's what draws me
this
in.
nice matte brown
Yeah.
with this,
I'm like drawn to
it's
that.
so beautiful, so beautiful. And we did start a band over this. There's a lot of cool stuff happening here. Now that we're talking about it, I'm going to showcase a little bit of this. They do these cool little art booklets and such. There's all kinds of great artwork, which also resonates emotionally. But I'm not going to talk about that right yet, because one day I'm going to do the unboxing of this. This is the record that I sent traveling around the United States. Not this particular copy, but this is the album.
Yes, we talked about that,
There were 20 different people that I was like, you know what? Who wants to hear a record for the first time? I bought a copy of this solely to send to all of my friends in the United States. And it made it from Tennessee all the way down to the South, all the way up to the Northeast, all the way across to the West Coast, and returned back to me.
I'm so disappointed I missed out on that.
That was just before we met.
I wasn't around
just before
yet.
we met. So that's my closer for this, and I'll definitely do that unboxing video one day, because it's still boxed up, and I was just waiting. I wanted to make sure we have the video and everything ready to go. So, the Silver Mount Zion.
This reminds me of the first time I met you,
Horses
Bobby.
in the Sky. Do tell. So that's my spine tingling
I
moment.
don't even know how I got into the face group. I don't know how I got into that group, honestly. I mean, it was during the COVID time, so I was probably in every record group, to be honest.
Could be.
You know how that was. I don't know if you did the same.
Well, there was a lot of time.
People were just inviting me, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is, but I'll go in here.
We had a lot of time to spare.
Well, yes.
Which is how we wind up.
And I know I saw... right. And I know I saw your stream pop up previously. I don't think I watched it.
Yeah.
A few times, I don't know. And then the one time I just popped in, I think you had like Stevie on your desk. You had like... it was dark. Yeah. You know how you used to do, like the crazy... I don't. It might have been around Halloween time.
It could have been. We still got Stevie the spooky
tree.
Stevie
like lit up on your desk, like it was dark. You're like in the corner of your basement, like yelling and screaming. I'm like, who the hell is this dude?
Maybe we'll.
But
maybe we'll get that to the world.
But I gave you a chance, didn't I?
You did.
I gave it a chance, and I love Bobby's what he used to do his shows, because he used to do it on Wednesday and Sunday, and I used to watch both. Every week.
Thank you for that. I'm glad you did. Look at where it led us.
It works out.
Look at where it led us.
Because what if I never clicked on that video?
Well, maybe we can start doing some of that on a live YouTube. If we get enough people following, we can do live YouTube stuff, and then you never know. It's liable to get crazy up in here.
Halloween's coming, so
true. We can make it happen. So that's it. I think that covers the 4 criteria.
Yeah,
we got all the records in. A little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of emotion. Lots to talk about, and I will say once again, this is in no way, shape, or form definitive. If you have a criteria that you haven't shared with us, please hit us up in the comments. Let us know. Follow us on social media. We are at Best Good Friends Pod, all one word.
I think about
Instagram and YouTube, obviously. Anything else that we need to cover before we shut this beast down?
No, I don't think so. Again, I think I was kind of all over the place, but again, it's hard to
for
pick,
sure.
You know, so many albums, and I mean, there could be hundreds of essential categories again, so it's hard to. And
again, all of these categories that we mentioned, and specifically the ones that I picked, the records, those all, even though I picked 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, those fall under all 4 of those categories. So that means longevity, emotional connection, front to back playthrough, and the spine tingling moment. All 8 of those records, including the 7 Iron Maiden I didn't showcase, they all land in there. So good. All right.
It was awesome to see your picks, so I enjoyed that.
I absolutely enjoyed yours as well. You have the coolest soundtrack collection of anyone that I know. It's just you really dive deep into that world. And I know a lot of people that dive deep into different areas of music, but you are the one that I know that is the most hands-on with soundtracks.
I think a lot of it is, when I first started collecting again, it was more like, I do this with my sports, so I'm trying to. It's like I need to pinpoint like one area and stick to it and kind of curate that part. You know, so that's what I'm trying to do right now. Not collect everything, because I would. Let's be honest.
That's a smart way to go.
So I'm in the middle of that right now, trying to, like, I just have soundtracks, and I have, like, a couple different bands that I really like, you know, Explosions in the Sky, Little Big Town, Mono, Mogwai. And then I stop there. I'm kind of going towards, like, you know, because I have God is an Astronaut, and then that Akron band. I can't think of them again.
The
But they're good as
yeah.
well. So I'm like, do I go that
Yeah.
far?
Well, you're
So
doing the right
that's where
thing
I'm at
by
with it.
being aware of what you can and
Trying.
can't get into. I mean,
Yeah.
it's for me. I'm all across the board.
hmm
Obviously, I mean, from freaking Iron Maiden to Erica Badu, but
I mean, I would collect a lot of
yeah,
genres.
but really honing in on something early on eliminates you from having the things that you're
hmm
just stepping over for no reason.
Right.
You know.
Or trying to like
Yeah.
sell
Now,
everything.
I'm a big fan, and I know you are as well, but I'm a big fan of this just looks cool. I'm going to check it out. The surprise purchase.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
totally
And
me.
if
Yeah.
you find a good place that has a lot of that stuff, it's easy to just get crazy and buy a bunch of stuff. And then next thing you know, it's
hmm
like, well, I only liked half of them.
Yep.
But if you just buy selectively and you know that, say, you have a band or a label or something like that you trust,
hmm
it's kind of hard to not fall in
I
love
guess
with what
that's
you buy.
that, and I kind of preview. I preview some albums
Yeah.
beforehand. So like I'll listen on Spotify or iTunes. Not even iTunes now.
You
Apple
know,
Music.
that's something
If I'm not totally sure.
that I am just in love with in modern day. A lot of people use it for the wrong reasons. They stream and they don't purchase, but
hmm
I always purchase what I
Yeah.
enjoy streaming. And if it's available to
It's
me,
like a
yeah, if it's
preview thing.
available to me, I 100%
hmm
purchase it. I won't ever leave the band hanging
hmm
because I think it's kind of rude to do so. It's almost like dipping into somebody's,
That's
into
true.
their. I'm sure for many it's a job. I don't know how to describe the scenario I'm talking about, but when you kind of go in,
hmm
you enjoy the thing. It's almost like not paying off your credit card. You go in, you dive
Yeah.
into the thing, you utilize it. On the back end, it's kind of your responsibility to buy it if you like it, especially if you find yourself
hmm
revisiting it over and over and over. It's ridiculous to think you're going to listen to one album 10 times yet not buy it. That doesn't make sense to me. So, a lot of people ripped us off in the early
Yep.
ages. I would buy those cassettes because they had awesome artwork, and I'd get home and I'd save my lunch money. I'd save all my money, and I'd buy a damn Junkyard cassette, and it sucked. No, I'm just kidding. Junkyard wasn't that bad. That was just the name that came to my mind.
Hey.
But I do remember not being happy with
Junkyard.
that album. So I played that one, and I was like, I'm never going to listen to this again. So be it.
You got a
I shouldn't have
preview.
said a band name. Now I feel bad. I'm
Preview
sorry,
first.
Junkyard. Y'all are all right. Hell, y'all made me buy the record. For crying out loud. Now, see, this
Yeah.
is my I shouldn't beat people down emotions coming out.
Oh, Bobby
One
had a
day somebody's
dilemma.
gonna be like, Bobby's band sucks, and I'm just gonna be like, I shouldn't. It's my karma. My karma coming back on me for crying out loud.
You're in a band? No, they'd be like, you're in a band?
Have you ever heard of a band called the Cycle Sluts from Hell? That's a random question, but they
Yeah.
had like that
Yeah.
sound clip in the "I Wish You Were a Bear." It's like, "Ah, are you in a band?"
I know.
I love
That's what
that.
I'd be like.
Okay,
I think I've seen you
Yeah.
somewhere.
so good.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah,
hanging out
thank
with
you
us.
so much. I'm glad that we made it to another episode. This is the Best Good Friends podcast. Be sure to tell your friends that you're listening and watching, and be sure to share us amongst your circle. We really would appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, follow us on the Instagram and YouTube. Talk to you later.